Hey guys, welcome to Cricket Fanatics Magazine. And today we are going to be doing the preview show of the second T20 between South Africa versus India. This is obviously happening after the first game was rained out in Durban. What did we expect? We did a preview show for that, predicting that there would be rain. There was a little bit of hope around the ground leading up to the game. Certain people saying that yes, it is going to clear up and will most likely be a reduced game. But in the end, Durban delivered what we Durban is known to deliver, and that was another rained out game. And I mean, that is the situation when it comes to Kingsmead. Over the years, it's always had that problem with regards to whether it be international cricket games or whether it be SA20. These things have been happening for quite some time in Durban. So it isn't something that we are not used to ultimately. So we're going to be talking about this particular match, of course, and we're going to go straight into the today's discussion. Sorry, I hear that the sound is not working properly. I've tried to fix it now. I hope it's good. So after the rained out game, we're going to be talking about the second T20I. And hopefully we will have a match this time around in Gqeberha. It's going to be a venue. Sometimes it sees rain, but majority of the time we do get a good match when it comes to that particular venue. It is a 5 o'clock kickoff, so in the evenings it might be a little bit. You could get a little bit of overcast conditions in the evening, perhaps in Gqeberha, but generally speaking, you do have it is a good ground for T20 cricket. Um, we saw with the Sunrisers Eastern Cape um, and the way were played there and how they did at home. They did actually quite well. So it is something that we're going to be looking to forward to. So let's discuss it. Um, I will be also looking at the weather reports for tomorrow's game as well, so that we can have a discussion about that too. So before we get going, before we get started, let's a couple of things I'd like you guys to please do. First and foremost, subscribe to the channel, click that notification bell for all future videos. If you have not subscribed yet, then please do so to our Cricket Fanatics magazine monthly. Every issue is 100% free, straight to your inbox every month. The link is on the screen right now, as well as in the description. We have the latest issue out right now. Looking at the kind of the way forward and how South Africa can bounce back and plan towards the future, what the future holds for South Africa now after that World Cup. So we do have that issue available for you and all back issues free. We also are very excited that we have announced this as well on a previous show, but we will be keeping announcing this and making this announcement on the shows in the future. It's very important that we tell you guys. Um, we have officially launched Cricket Fanatics Magazine Business Corner, and our aim is to help businesses and organizations market to a cricket audience cheaply and effectively. If you're interested in finding out more about how to do so, then click on the link in the description, please. It is in the bio at the moment in the description, and we're looking forward to hearing from you. We'll have a discussion, and we can see how we can work together moving forward in the future. And just come on. It's also free to sign up, and you can have a great conversation about how we can help you market and your products, your services, your business, your brand, etc. So please go ahead and do so too. So without further ado, let's get straight into today's video. I'm looking forward to discussing this with you guys. A very good evening and welcome to Cricket Fanatics Magazine. This is your preview show. I'm your host Khalid Moeddin, and this is the show where we talk about all things T20, the T20I series between South Africa and India. It was meant to kick off yesterday, with the first game in Kingsmead, but unfortunately it was rained out. I'm going to be looking at the weather report as well for this fixtures. So I'm going to pop it up on the screen so we can look at it together. There is a little bit of worry, guys. It does seem like the weather is also going to be rainy um, on Tuesday as well. But it doesn't seem like that is the case throughout the day. But when it counts, which is at round about 4, 5 o'clock, there seems to be about a 25% chance of rain that could happen at 5 o'clock. But then it does seem to clear up the rest of the time. As you can see, I'm changing the, the times over here, and it does seem to clear up a little bit later on. So what I'm predicting for this game is most likely what we're going to see is uh, probably a delayed start to the game, and hopefully not reduced overs. But we're going to see there is going to be rain on offer. What this will do to the conditions, of course, as you know, humidity is going to be quite high. It is going to be a bit cloudy and overcast, so the ball will swing most likely, and particularly in Gqeberha, I mean, P is conditions, etc., very close to Cape Town in certain ways. So we could see the ball swing around a bit, particularly up front. Um, and then under lights, of course, the ball could move around as well. But that also means that there's going to be it's going to be wet weather as well. So you could have an issue with chasing on this ground. So perhaps maybe batting first could be an option, but with the ball moving around as well in T20s, you never know what can happen with regards to setting the target as well. Uh, but it doesn't look like it's going to rain the entire evening. So hopefully, fingers crossed, we will see. We know that things can change. We saw with the Durban weather how things were changing towards the start of the match, but it didn't hinder the outcome, because we saw that how the weather reports were changing with regards to precipitation as the day went along. It was looking more likely, but it didn't save the match from taking save the match from a abandoned game. Um, so rain is affecting all of us around here. Only Cape Town at the moment is quite sunny and hot. So it's crazy. And we don't have any T20 game or any other game except the Test series. So it's funny that there is no games this side of the world where it is sunny now at the moment. But I mean, like Stuart says in the live chat over there, even Poch, first day, India A versus SAA was rained out as well the first day. So out started off with a wet outfield and then the rain came back again. We were getting updates on having a game starting. The toss was taken, and then the rain came back, and the game was eventually called off. So in the unfamiliar place like that, like Poch, you're not used to necessarily those games being affected by rain. Even that's being hit by rain, but that's crazy that Durban, okay, we are used to Durban, but possibly Gqeberha for the start of the match, like I showed you. And then now, also the India A versus SAA unofficial test also called off. But let's still discuss things, because I'm hoping, from what I've seen from the weather report, like I showed you guys earlier on, there could still be a game that happens. So for the guys that don't know about the squad, here it is for you guys again. I would like to see your 11s, and what you guys think, who you guys would play for this particular match. But here is your 11. We know that there's one change. Is Lungingidi out? He's injured. So he's been replaced by Bjorn Hendricks. And for me, I'm leaning towards particularly Nande Berg, obviously, Othniel Batman starting this match particularly. If the weather conditions are going to be overcast and cloudy, etc., I think batting first or batting second, I think both teams will get swing. according to what the conditions are looking like. That's what I'm assuming. So Nandre gets swing, Otniel Batman gets good movement too. And I think that also Marco Janssen in should be a must in that attack. And most likely we'll see Gerald Kutsia possibly also play. So that would be my bowling attack: Nandre, Otniel, Gerald, Marco Janssen as the and then one of Keshav or Tabray Shamsi. It really depends on the wicket itself, whether they're going to pick two spinners or not. These could be a possibility. It does dependable on the conditions. It can spin a little bit in Kabeja, but it's very conditions and very pitch reliable when it comes to that. But I'd go with maybe one spinner in Tabray Shamsi. Um, and then that's your five bowlers. And then I'll go with Donovan Ferreira at 7 personally. Um, that's what I would do. And then with regards to number 6, so I've got 11, which is I'll go with Otniel, 10 Nandre, 9 Gerald, 8 Marco, 7 Donovan for me. Um, um, oh wait, I messed that up now. So Otniel, Nandre, I have to put Shamsi in there. So Shamsi. Um, so we're probably gonna have to play Shamsi as well, if I'm thinking about it now. Um, so for me, it will be Shamsi will have to play. I'm thinking. The more I'm thinking about this particular match, I think Shamsi will probably have to play, but it does make it a little bit tricky. I mean, Gerald's only going to be available. You see, now this is where it comes into question for me, because let me just strategize with you guys properly here. I said specifically there's no room now for error because there's no chances now available, because ultimately what happened is we were supposed to have two games and Marco was only supposed to be available. Um, Marco and Marco and Gerald were only supposed to be available for two games, right? And what's happened now, because of the Durban being rained out, you kind of have to now play the two guys that were only going to get two games anyway. So for me, Brzezinski must get a go for me, because he was going to get a go in the previous match. So Brzezinski at 1 for me to open the batting. Riza at 2. I think that is the only option for South Africa, is Riza at 2. Then at 3, I would have to go with I'd go with Markram at 3, and I'll play Stubbs at 4, because I'd like to see Stubbs get a go. Then at 5, I'll have to go with Klaassen. 6, I'd have to go with Muller. Now, 6, I'll have to go with Muller. Now, this is where it gets tricky now, because 7, 8, 9, and then you need to get the spinner in as well, and then 11, right? So for me, I'll go at 7, I'll probably go with Muller, and then I'll go with Donovan, because I want to see Donovan play, right? Then at 8, I'll go with Janssen. 9, I'll go with Gerald, because they're only going to get one game anyway, so you can bring in other guys afterwards. 10, I'll go with Berger. And 11, I'll go with Shamsi. Now, this does cause a little bit of a problem if you're going to look at the numbers. And I think that's where they're going to fall flat. Um, There's only two players of color in this team that I mentioned. So it's not a very likely team to see play. And I think that they would most likely play Andile instead of Donovan, perhaps. Um, and if they want to give an opportunity, but I think for me personally, uh, you want to get on the front foot. It's a pity that that game against Durban rained out. You want to get on the front foot in the first game, and in the second game you can maybe try and experiment because there's no way to lose the series. You can only draw it from there. So go out all out in the first game. Second game, try and give you a little bit more opportunities now because that's the situation we are sitting with. But I'd like to know what you guys think and what your 11 will be. I would be very interested to see what you guys come up with. There is a possibility to give some younger guys an opportunity as well, but uh, on I think this I think this team is quite a devastating team. If I'm going to be honest, so let me start in the live chat. Lauren says, hopefully the PE wind will blow away the rain. Ahmed says, can't they postpone the match an hour and a half later so that we don't lose overs? Um, it could possibly be an option. I don't think that will be an option. Sorry, I think I think you only, if I'm not mistaken, um, you only lose overs after like I think an hour or so, if I'm not mistaken. So they might be safe of still having a game later on without overs being lost. Lawrence says apparently the match yesterday wasn't necessarily called off for rain, but for an unplayable outfield. Time for our grounds to get full covers like they do in India, especially Durban. Their drainage ain't the best either. McMillan says read some unsavory tweet by a spoiled lady cricket supporter yesterday saying the cricket shouldn't be played in Durban due to the weather. Titled much. Um, I mean, it's not Durban's fault that it rains. Do you know what I mean? It's almost like I saw some hatred kind of towards Durban, almost like dissing Durban because of their weather, just because you can't get a cricket match is quite weird to me, to be honest, because it's not necessarily Kingsmead's fault or Durban's fault that the rain is coming. Like that's a crazy thing to blame them for. Almost like they're the ones that are bringing down the opening up the heavens. So that's a bit weird to me. Um, and I don't think you can necessarily always predict it either. There's been some times where it was. I remember being in Durban for games as well. I think I was there for No, there wasn't a. Yes, there was a test match there. There was a test match over there, and I was there for a test series. And I remember test match being there, and it was sunny for all 4 days. And this one day, out of nowhere, it just started raining. So Durban is unpredictable. Even if you look beforehand, you can't blame that on Durban. I do think that though, because of everything, um, like Loudon suggested, perhaps infrastructure, trying to fix that as well so that the drainage system can be better. So that if you do get a couple of overs and the rain does clear up, you can still have a game if you have a good drainage system and covers for the entire field, perhaps, or something like that. But that is going to cost some money. Or we can just get like your team, a dome like your team, Lawrence, that evaporates the water as it falls in. Well, it's for snow, but we can say. Uh, Arsenal. I think they have like apparently they have a stadium, a dome where if it's snowing, it evaporates the snow, something like that, or melts it or whatever before it hits the pitch. So I've heard a rumor about that. I don't know if that's 100% true. Really sad because of rain, says Sam. Um, Ahmed said there is no left-handed batsman in top order. Would you like one there? I mean, we don't have many left-handed openers. I think in the country at the moment. Like, we do have. I mean, we do have Ryan Rickelton, and that's why people obviously want him to open the batting with Quinton de Kock. In place of Quinton de Kock, sorry, because they see it as a like for like replacement. Even though when I went through the stats and to look at the strike rates, etc., uh, they aren't necessarily the same type of player with regards to stroke play, etc. You know, when you see Ryan Rickelton bat, he doesn't look like Quinton de Kock, for example. He plays his own game, which is how we want. We want our players to play their own game. We don't have one at the moment. Um, there is no opening batter that's left-handed in the squad. Um, so Ryan Nicholton would have been the one option to do so. The only left-hander here is David Miller in the batting department. So it would be nice, but unfortunately, we don't have that. So we're gonna have to just play what we have. It is going to look highly likely that Bresky will get an opportunity because he was surely supposed to get one in Durban, and it was the perfect situation for him because he was playing there for his franchise in the SA20 in Kingsmead, and he had a very good performance at Kingsmead actually in the SA20. So it would have been a nice place for him to actually, get his debut. But now even better, he gets it at his home ground. So win-win for him either way. Riza, Bretsky, Stubbs. Sam's team is Riza, Bretsky, Stubbs, Markram, Klaassen, Miller, Marco, Kutsia, Maharaj, Bartman, and Nandre. Yeah, you see that I would go with Bartman and Nandre in a normal game. I would. But because Gerald and Marco are only available for 2 games, I almost want to play them. I don't want one of them to not get a game. I would like them to get a game um, before the ODIs, of course, or before the Test series. You want them to kind of play before the Test series because they're not going to be playing in the ODIs. So ultimately, I want them to play before the Test series, just to show you the ODI team. So for me, I'd play them because of that reason, and that's why I would try to fit both of them in. And if I do, you either have to then, um, I mean, for me, you're gonna have to either then not have Don in the team and then play Janssen at 7 and Kutsia at 8, and then to fit in Bartman and to fit in an extra bowler. But I would like to see Donovan Ferreira play. Me personally, I would like to see what he has to offer, especially against a team like India. That would be my bowling attack too, Khalid. Don't think we need 2 spinners. Markram can also chip in. Um, Stewart 11 is Riza, Bretsky, Markram, Stubbs, Klaassen, Miller, Pechlekwayo, Maharaj, Gerald, Nandre, and Bartman. It's a good 11. Lorenzo says just don't play games in Durban. It's simple as that. I mean, yeah, you have to give Durban some cricket. It's Sometimes you need to find a way how to get them cricket. You know, I don't know how, but it's not like, I mean, it's unfair for certain grounds only to get as well. Okay, you've given you 11. I've already read that out. Um, Lawrence Bailey says, do you think we'll see a 5, 6, and 7 of Klaas and Miller and Ferreira? I don't see that person, to be honest. I only see Don getting a game if either Miller or Klaassen gets a rest. If Don plays, then Marcus sits out. Yeah, I don't think it's realistic, my 11. Um, I just want to try and fit in everybody. But I think they're exactly the same thing that Donovan only plays probably most likely if Klaassen or Miller misses out. But I'd like to see an 11 like that personally, just to see both Stubbsy and Donovan get an opportunity in the game. And I want to see Tristan Stubbs get a little bit of a chance, to get himself settled in and go for it. Suraj's Durban is not a good place because it's rain prone. Matt 92. Bresky, Riza, Markram, Klaassen, Stubbs, Ferreira, Janssen, Gerald, Berger, Bartman, and Shamsi. It's a very good 11 as well. So you've left out Marco Janssen. Oh, you've put in Marco Janssen. Who did you leave out that I haven't put in? Bresky, Riza, Markram. Oh, Klaassen, Stubbs, Miller, Ferreira. Okay, so you've dropped Miller. Not dropped Miller, left out Miller for this game. Macmillan says Briza, Bretsky, Aiden, Klassen, Stubbs, Miller, Ferreira, Janssen, Kutsia, Berger, and Shamsi. Stuart says if Donovan plays, do they drop Klassen? Love Donovan, but not sure who we drop. Yeah, that's why I try to fit him in, just to force him into the 11 somehow. Um, I know that this T20 series is important, but our main focus is T20 World Cup later. I wouldn't play Marco and Gerald now as they are obvious pick for World Cup. I would give others a chance. You see, now that's the problem now. Do you give others a chance? So if you do give others a chance, then by all means, then I would see um, Batman come into the team as well as Pechlekwayo then come into the team to give them both an opportunity. So um, that could be another option as well. Lorenzo says, in my opinion, T20 cricket for me should not be used as a yardstick to blood youngsters in at the international cricket, unless you're a T20 specialist. But ODI cricket for me is the format where you build youngsters. So, very good point, Lorenzo. A very good point. I think things are changing though because youngsters are playing T20 cricket before the longer formats of the game. There is a massive, massive, massive focus on that somehow. So um, we see young players getting opportunities in T20 cricket before any other format, even domestically. So it's crazy. Suraj Campbell says the squad system transformation always miss South Africa playing 11 man. Macmillan says Durban was sold out weeks before the game. Unfair on the cricket fans here. Can't Sinai or a whole province due to something out of control. Exactly. Exactly. I agree with you. 100% there. It's not Durban's fault that it rains. Like that's crazy. Why Andile? I don't think why very lucky cricketer ever Andile when he will retire from cricket. Still think it will be a while. Donovan should play as a spinning batting all rounder, either in place of Maharaj or Shamsi. Aiden and Donovan can bowl 4 overs together. For instance, for example, if Bretsky fail in the last two T20I, some will say he's crap, etc. We all know it happens. I'd give him extended run on the ODI setup as there we'll see the real Bretsky. I think now we have the perfect opportunity to grow a team in ODIs, Lorenzo. You 100% spot on there because we have 4 years till the next World Cup. It's the perfect time now against India now to blood in a young team and see them see what they can do. But they've kind of given guys in that bracket of being experienced now domestically, but still young, you know. So, for example, as you look at the ODI 11, you've got the likes of Tony DeZorzi and Calvareno, who are still young, but also experienced domestically. Michlali Mapungwana is the only youngster here, I feel, that is really young and doesn't really have much experience domestically. Vian Mulder's in the same bracket as the other two, young, but still has experience domestically. So we didn't go that route of giving Obretsky an opportunity, which I think we missed a trick there, perhaps, of maybe giving some of the youngsters and future generation players a chance in this ODIs versus India. It's an opportunity where we know Rassi van der Dussen, we know Heinrich Klaassen, we know David Miller, we know what they bring. We just had an ODI World Cup. Why not give a couple of younger guys a go against a team like India and allow them to play a full series and really give it a go? I think we did miss a trick there with the ODIs a bit, in my opinion. But we have to accept what has been made of that right now. So kind of have to just go with it for now and talk as we see fit with regards to that. Sorry, that's an old comment. Let me just get into it here. Where did I end up lost? Um, Lawrence Bailey, I can see them going with Riza, Brzezinski, Markram, Stubbs, Klassen, Miller, Pichlekwayo, Kutsia, Maharaj, Batman, Berger, or Purin. Matt 92, they should just build a roof at Kingsmead. Are there any cricket stadiums that have a roof? Dockland Stadium in Melbourne. It's the only known as, it's also known as Marvel Stadium. I think that's the only one that has a roof. It'll be very pricey to do something like that. What is the weather update for the second T20? I've given it early on in the show. It does look like it's going to rain, but it does seem like it only will probably rain at the start or before and start of the game. I think it will clear up afterwards, according to the weather report. What is the weather update T20 match? Second T20 match? Maybe Kingsmead should host matches in August, September where it is not wet. That is his Khalid. I don't know all the new guys except Berger, who I saw at St. George's way back. I remember he loved to do the stare down after bowling that day. What new names you most excited to see? Um, I'm excited to see Matthew Brzezinski 100%. I am a fan of his. And he is quite a good friend of the channel. He's come on before when nobody, at the beginning when we couldn't, when we just started doing interviews, etc. Matthew was one of the first people to join the shows, and he was a good sport about it as well. Matthew is an awesome player, and I've always liked his mentality. So I'm excited to see Matthew. I'm excited to see Donovan. I want to see what he brings again. Um, I want to see Stubbs get given a go as well. Nandre, of course, I'm excited about too. I know what Othniel Batman can do, and so it's not necessarily about being excited about it. It's about knowing what these players can bring and then see him in action. But I must say, um, definitely excited to see Matthew Brzezinski play. Someone that has been a part of this team, a part of you could say my history in cricket. A large portion of it um, started with me getting to know Matthew Brzezinski in a way because he was one of my first younger players that I interviewed. I remember at my first ever CSA Awards, at the Amateur Awards, I interviewed him, and so we've come a long way actually when it comes to that relationship between a journalist and a player as relationship as it can be. So I'm very excited to see how his career is gonna get off, how his take off. Lawrence says I was in Durban for Mzansi Super League match and it rained out as well. Love Durbs, but like Stein tweeted yesterday, if you want rain, just schedule a match in Durban. It's a ongoing joke now, but we can't blame Durban. That's what I'm trying to say. Like, it's not Durban's fault. So we need to find a way on how we can calculate that better. I don't know if they how far ahead they look at the weather, the schedule, etc. You can't predict those things ultimately, um, because there are plenty of sunny days in Durban too. How is it that we always pick a rainy day in Durban? It's mad. I've had days when I went to Durban where it was super hot and like to the extent that my nose started like bleeding and stuff from the heat. Um, and then you get days where it's raining. So I don't know how we manage to always pick a day that rains. It's crazy. Holly, is true. Is it true these T20s are the only matches we will play before the T20 squad to the World Cup is announced? Um, I am hearing that is the case. We're hoping to get a couple of. I'm hoping we're gonna get a couple of more games in here, but um, it does seem like that's going to be the case. Because against New Zealand, we don't play obviously any white ball cricket. So we could have they could have scheduled a couple of that would have been nice. A couple of white ball games against New Zealand. Matt says, I remember when an entire test was rained out at Kingsmead in 2017 versus New Zealand. Stuart says, didn't the MCG in Australia have a roof? I remember seeing a video of Hussey hitting the ball into the roof. um, you're talking about the Telstra Dome Stadium, yes. Also in Melbourne, they will use it today, especially in the BBL. Um, Matt92 says Yanaman hasn't done enough domestically to get back into the team. Sam says, what Beretsky done domestically and Andile to play for Proteas? Or quite a lot. Andile's been doing well recently in domestic cricket. Larry says, Durban has liquor carry, but not liquor weather for cricket. But yeah, but I mean, I don't know how that works. Like I just explained from experience. The 2027 World Cup will be in SA, and SA will definitely play a few games in Durban. And we all know the Proteas and Raid are not buds. CSA and Kingsmead should put structures in place and build a roof, in my opinion. Perhaps they should. Tex says heavy rain predicted at tomorrow's game 2 will be another washout. I read out the weather report. According to the weather report, okay, let me just look around the St. George's and see. Um, yeah, even around there. So, like I said, it looks like it starts to rain. It's going to start raining around 4 o'clock, and then about 5 o'clock, it will still be raining, kind of, and then it will clear up around 6 o'clock, 5:30, maybe 6 o'clock. It seems like it. 7 o'clock, it will start. It will be clear. So, yeah, we might see a reduced game. I don't think we'll see a washed out game, but weather can change. My one says, when have any of our cricket grounds had any infrastructure like our football World Cup grounds? CSA um, skint. Um, Dick says Marvel Stadium, Melbourne has a roof. Home of the Melbourne Renegades in the BBL. Yeah, I said that earlier on. Um, in my opinions, most grounds need an upgrade. But guys, Newlands needs a proper upgrade. I don't know if you guys have been to Newlands lately, but wow, needs a proper upgrade. Tex says, Khalid, we need the Super Sport Park to redevelop like Adelaide Oval for 2027 World Cup, as it is one of the premier grounds, and Super Sport certainly has the money for that. Definitely. I think all our stadiums need an upgrade. Apparently, though, St. George's Park has gotten a massive upgrade. So I'm excited to see what it looks like on TV. I haven't been there since the upgrade, but apparently it did get a massive upgrade. Being home of the SEC. Matt 92 grounds need to be sold to private investors who have the money to upgrade the infrastructure. I was hoping that with the SA20 that would happen. that funds would be made available by the franchises to help them upgrade the stadiums, etc. I think I don't know how it works, but from what I've heard, it does seem that certain amount of money has been allocated to the ground or to the specific grounds for or the specific host stadiums to do certain things, and they must decide what they're going to do with the money ultimately. Um, Wesley says being a Protea and United fan is tough work. It's been very tough work, bro. It's constant. It's been a constant struggle for 4 years now, 5 years now. Sure. Um, Sometimes United lose and it's terrible, and I must come live and speak to you guys. Yo, it's been tough. It's time to give Tristan Stubbs, Dewald Brevis, Donovan Ferreira a run in ODI setup. Ahmed says I would blood youngsters in the short format and select full strength squad for the tests. Lorenzo says the government did make funds available for the redevelopment of our stadiums ahead of the World Cup in 27, so it's good news. Seems like Paul will also get a number of games with the development going on there. Harley, bro, do you think we kind of rushed Mapungwana? Shouldn't they have waited at least another domestic season before roping him in? I really hope this ain't number selection because he's better than that. Yeah, it is something that I was thinking about as well. But he's had 2 seasons now with Western Province. I think 2 seasons now. It was a little bit injury prone. But I think that what they saw from him in the One Day Cup would have motivated them to want to select him and bring him into the mix because of our desperation for batting all rounders. Now, there are some other guys that I think also need to be looked at, like the Ruan de Swarts, Jason Smith, another one, that also could possibly fill that role that Mokuwana plays. As well. But I think our need for Black African players to come through the system um, has been a priority from Cricket South Africa's point of view as well. But I think he's better than being selected. People want to call him a selection due to transformation. I think he's better than that, and I think he deserves to be in and amongst the Proteas team. So they're doing the right thing with him by giving him opportunities. But there are some other youngsters too that also I think the same should be done. Any news on the next Proteas bowling coach? I think it's Pete Botha. The Supersport Park needs grandstand on both sides of the wicket. I'm not going to read out the ODI squad yet, Stuart. We'll do that before the ODI series. Suraj says, yes, South Africa only will 5-match now from onwards before T20 World Cup if tomorrow's match happens. We play 3 T20Is against the West Indies in West Indies just before the World Cup. Besides that, I forgot about that actually. Our next T20 squad selection will be for the West Indies tour just before the World Cup. So it will most likely be the World Cup squad that will play the West Indies T20 series. Yeah. Like that is so close to the World Cup that I think that's what will happen. So I think what he meant in the question that he asked me was whether we're going to get another series where we can still, give youngsters opportunities, etc. That's how I tried to answer it. But I did slip my mind the West Indies game. At the West Indies series slipped my mind. Why is people talking about Janeman? Let's be honest. Currently, he just ain't good enough for Proteas selection. He barely gets consistent runs at the rock. Something is wrong with his mentality, in my opinion. I think he's struggling with form at the moment, very badly at the moment. And unfortunately, you need to go back and domestically and go score runs there. Aiden had to do it. Temba had to do it. Zubair Ramza now has to do it. Like there's plenty of play. Kyle Verreynne had to go do it. So there's plenty of players. Ryan has to go do it now again. So there's plenty of players that this has happened to. And others have reacted. It's time for Janeman to react. Lawrence says Newland is like Old Trafford falling apart. It's falling apart. Really, it is. Um, Khalid, you got Khalid, you got your big boy pants on the underpants on, but having United shirt there, bro. After a miserable performance against Bournemouth. Yeah, guys, I know. It was a it was a confusing performance, to be honest, because United dominated majority of the game. We create so much chances and can never finish. So we need to sort out whatever's going on there. It's tough to be a United supporter. I wore it today because it was just I felt comfortable wearing it um, today. So yeah, I just put it on. Um, Stuart says I'm loving the eight tours and giving different players chances through with the red ball. We need to do the same with white ball. Suraj says Bhuvan is not a batting all rounder. He is a bowling all rounder. Only Rwanda Swat, Jason Smith, Dean Forrester, Vian Mulder are the batting all rounders. I think Bhuvan is more of an all rounder, not batting or bowling. He's just a pure all rounder. His batting ability is good, his bowling ability is good. Khalid, what do you think about Chelsea's crisis? Too many players, bro. Way too many players. Um, on like hectic contracts. Like I heard that some players are like 7 year contracts or something like that, which is insane. So there needs to be a cleansing at a clean out and a cleansing at Chelsea. Similarly to United, there needs to be a cleansing. Literally at the moment, we are still playing the same team that played under Oli. Majority of the team is the team that played under Oli. Our whole back four is Ole Gunnar Solskjaer's back four. Scott McTominay is still playing. Martial still playing. Um, the only new guys and Bruno still playing. So it's still the same 11s that are playing under Oli. We need like a proper like cleanse out and yeah, new players need to come in. Bongwano got 100 in the One Day Cup final. We need a big match players. Our record in tournaments is a joke. And that's why they're giving him a chance. And that's what Rob spoke about. He specifically spoke about that game. Temba Vavuma never got dropped from the team. He regularly got chances to play for the Proteas. No matter how he performs, he only gets dropped when Bavuma gets injured. Otherwise, he always gets a place. No, he got dropped. Um, can't remember when it was, but he got dropped and he went back and he scored 180 and they brought him back in the test side. What is P wicket like? Well, it's very dependable, bro. It's not always the same. Um, they can sometimes it can be a batting paradise, and sometimes it can be a hell of a lot in there for the bowlers. So it depends what square they play on. It depends how the wicket's prepared. So it's going to be a on the day type of thing. You need to read the conditions there. That's why the players that they produced recently have been quite good at reading conditions and at adapting their game. Ronald says, I think the SA20 will be a comp where guys can put up their hands for possible World Cup spot. I do think 90% of our World Cup picks itself, though. So from the sense, I think we'll be good. Yeah, we only maybe need, like I said, one or two players to come through, really. Tex says Mauricio and Bowley destroying Chelsea. Um, Lawrence says Chelsea's running kindergarten project, so many young players. Stuart says, should we pick World Cup squad? So now, I know. Um, that's talking to Suraj. Um, Khalid, you got a lot of football fans in the live chat. Time for you to start a footy channel. I did actually start a footy channel, bro. It was called Friday Night Football, and I started doing it like every Friday evening at 9 o'clock, and we were chatting about football on there. Um, but the guys that I wanted to start it with, they couldn't commit to consistent times to come on every single night. So I kind of put it on the back burner because so much cricket's happening. Cricket keeps me so busy at the moment. It's very difficult for me to start a second channel, but it is something down the line that I'd love to do. Sam says, I think Khalid is also a quote a product. Thanks, bro. You would also be you also quote a product too. Bretsky, home ground. Read today the Martial Varane Casemiro up for sale in January. Yeah. I don't know why Casemiro. I don't know what's happening with Casemiro. Khalid always takes Pavuma's side and Peklakwaya. Mark my word. Not true. Uh, um, I don't always take Pavuma's side. I try to see both sides of every story when it comes to any player. Um, you come across as like that you come across like you only take certain players' sides. You have a go at certain players majority of the time on the channel. The same players you recycle and have a go at. So your agenda is pretty consistent. Um, my comments not taken. Why no need to take part yourself in this card show? Sorry. Then go and leave, bro. I don't know why you keep coming back then. I read your comments when the time is comes to it. I don't know what your issue is constantly. Like if you don't want to watch, then leave, bro. Like seriously, I don't need you here if you don't want to be here. I hope SA under 19 team win is coming. Home World Cup, they have the talent. Um, let's see. It's a very talented team, but a very young team as well. Don't City's owners own Sharon Girona as well. I saw something that if Girona win the La Liga and City don't win the Premier League, then City can't play in the UCL in 2025. Whoa, that's crazy. Um, hopefully no rain in PE. Yeah, okay, whatever. Harley, don't let the negative comments say out. It's fine, bro. You sound mad. Um, but guys, leave him alone. It's all right. Leave him alone. Wesley, non-South Africans will never understand the protest like South Africans do. Yeah, it's a crazy situation. There's a lot of different layers to South African cricket, and just picking 11 and putting them out there. So yeah, there's a lot of integral parts to it. There's a lot of things that you need to discuss when it comes to cricket in South Africa. It's this unfortunate truth, and for me, I have to look at it unbiasedly and look at both sides. Um, and I have to try and see both sides to the story always, and try to be as unbiased as possible, regardless of what my beliefs are and what I feel is the right thing. There are certain realities that we have to face in South African cricket, and that is the way things are, whether we agree with it or not. I've given my comments with on and my discussions on certain things with regards to um, many things in South African cricket already before on this channel. Um, so yeah, what happened to Yanaman Malan? He's struggling to perform domestically, so they haven't picked him based on that. Um, so that's kind of what happened to him. And if you look at his game you can look at his game very closely. You will see there were certain errors certain things that he needed to work on. He even would have known that himself. And I don't know if he's fixed it or not because we haven't really gotten to see him bat enough South African wise. Um, so domestically for the Rocks, there's something going on there. There's some struggle over there, and I really hope that he um, comes right. Stuart asked me, Khalid, are you 10 in or out? I'm 10 in. You know what's funny is United fans have always said that they want a disciplinarian to come in, or someone is that is gonna instill discipline and not just be a pushover, right? Um, it's funny that I saw reports and leaks come out about how strict Tenach is and how he makes them run all the time, and It makes them run too much and all of those things. Unfortunately, I've seen too many players not pull their weight in this team, not only under Ten Hag, but also under the previous managers too. So at um, some point, the players need to take responsibility. We can't keep on making excuses for them. Look at how they performed last season. They ran around. They really pressed hard. They tried to run. I mean, the first two games they didn't, by the way, and then he made them run, and then they bought into that, and now suddenly they don't want to run around anymore. So I think that's a bit crazy. What happened to Ntini Junior? I think he's playing for. Um, I think he's playing for KZN Inland um, in Division Two. Oh no, wait, not in Division Two. They're Division One at the moment. Let me just check quickly. Unless he moved, I think he could have moved. I haven't actually caught up with him in a very long time. We should actually bring him on the show again and have a chat with him. We used to do that quite often. I mean, we had him quite a few times on the channel. I mean, yeah. So he's playing for KZN in England currently, and he's been playing. Not really getting much of a bowl, I see. Oh no, he is. Sorry, I'm an idiot. So he has been playing. Oh, wait a minute. Yeah, so he has been playing list A cricket and first class cricket. Yeah, for KZN in England. So he's moved from KZN to England now. So he is playing. So it's gonna be all about whether he performs or not, and then he'll get seen. But he hasn't really been doing crazy numbers. Um, Matt saying same year Tenach in. Corbin Bosch should have get a chance now. He's good bowling all rounder. Corbin needs to, for me personally, Corbin needs to show more domestically, in my opinion. Corbin doesn't even make currently the the Titans team. Um, Dex says he hates Ten Hag. He would like Xavi Alonso to take over. Ahmed says we need a long-term coach. After Fergie, we didn't have one that we can back a long time. Yeah, and we need someone that can instill his philosophy and his style, and the players need to form to him and what he needs. And we need to buy players that fit into that. This chopping and changing is not going to work. Every single time Rashford gets into a state and then he throws his toys out of the cot, and then he doesn't perform. So, like for example, that is issue. I can understand losing games, right? But when players are not running around on the field and not putting in 100% effort, that's when I get annoyed. Like the same with the Proteas. I say the same thing. I don't mind if we lose a game as long as there was 100% effort on the pitch. We can see that they gave it them all. Um, let's wrap things up here, guys. Lauren saying Corbin kind of overrated in my opinion. Khalid, I don't see the hype. I do see the hype with Ethan, however. Um, Suraj says, Oli bro, is Tony Rizorzi, is colored African cricketer or black African cricketer? He's a black African cricketer. Dex says Ethan greater than Corbin. Um, qualifies as African, so he's black African. Uh, I loved Ethan at the Capitals last year. He was very good at the Capitals. Springboks are the best example of giving it all, 100%. Even if they play badly, they at least give it their all. And then you can say, you know what, I was proud to be a Springbok supporter today. And that's what I want to feel like when I'm watching United, and the same like I feel when watching the Proteas. Thanks a lot, everybody, for watching. I hope you guys enjoyed this episode. Please subscribe to the channel, click that notification bell for all future videos. I'd also like you guys to please subscribe to Cricket Fanatics magazine monthly. Every issue is 100% free, straight to your inbox every single month. The link is on the screen as well as in the description. And if you guys have joined recently, if you follow us across the platforms, you'll know that we recently launched a business corner. It's a new and exciting venture that we've gone on. We officially launched it Our aim is to help businesses and organizations market their brand, products, or services effectively to and cheaply to a cricket audience. If you're interested in finding out more information about this and how we can help you, click on the link in the bio or in the description to find out more. So we're looking forward to hearing from you. So please go ahead and do so. The link is in the description, as I've said already. So, guys, I hope you guys enjoyed this episode. Let's hope that we get a game tomorrow. And then we'll see you guys again after the game for a review show. Stay safe. Enjoy the rest of your evening. And I'll see you guys soon. Peace out, everyone.